राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol. हरि नाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, 17th chapter, text 34-35. Tasya Chayam Mahabhagas Chitraketuhu Priyanuga Sarvatra Samadrik Shanto Hi Aham Chaivachyuta Priya. Tasman Na Vishmayah Karyah Purusheshu Mahatmashu Mahapurusha Bhakteshu Shanteshu Samadarishu Tasya Jayam Mahabhagas Chitraketu Priyanoga Sarvatra Samadrikshanto Aham Chaivachyuta Priyaha Tasman Vishmaya Karya Purusheshu Mahatmashu Mahapurusha Bhakteshu Shanteshu Samadarshishu Tasya Chayam Mahabhagas Chitraketu Priyanoga Sarvatra Samadrikshanto Aham Chaivachyuta Priya Tasmana Vishmaya Karya Purusheshu Mahatmashu Mahapurusha Bhakteshu Shanteshu Samadarishu Vacheshu Tasya Chayam Mahabhagas Chitraketu Priyanugaha सर्वत्र समदृक्षान्तो येऽहं चैवच्युत प्रिया तस्मान्न विस्मयकार्य पुरुषेषु महात्मसु महापुरुष भक्तेषु शान्तेषु समदर्शिषु तस्य चायं महा तस्य चायं महाभागः सर्वत्र समदृक्षान्तो येऽहं चैवच्युत प्रिया तस्मान्न विस्मयकार्य पुरुषेषु महात्मसु महापुरुषभक्तेषु चाहं महाभागः चाहं महाभागः सर्वत्र समदृक्षान्तो येऽहं चैवच्युत प्रिया मानविस्मयकार्य पुरुषेषु महात्मसु महापुरुषभक्तेषु समदर्शिषु. Well, Srimad. Okay. Word-to-word translation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Tasya, of him, the Lord. Cha, and. I am this. Mahabhaga, the most fortunate. Chitraketuhu, King Chitraketu. Priyaha, beloved. Anugaha, the most obedient servant. Sarvatra, everywhere. Samadrik, sees equally. Shantaha, very peaceful. He, indeed. Aham, I. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Achyut Priyaha, very dear to Lord Krishna, who never fails. Tasmat, therefore. Na, no. Vismayaha, wonder. Karyaha, to be done. Purusheshu, among persons. Maha-atmashu, who are exalted souls. Mahapurusha bhakteshu, devotees of Lord Vishnu. Shanteshu, peaceful. Samadarshishu, equal to everyone. This magnanimous Chitraketu is a dear devotee of the Lord. He is equal to all living entities and is free from attachment and hatred. Similarly, I am also very dear to Lord Narayan. Therefore, no one should be astonished to see the activities of most exalted devotees of Narayan. for they are free from attachment and envy. They are always peaceful and they are equal to everyone. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Veghena Bujai. One should not be astonished to see the activities of exalted, liberated Vaishnavas. As one should not be misled by the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should also not be misled by the activities of his devotees. Both the Lord and his devotees are liberated. They are on the same platform, the only difference being that the Lord is the master and devotees are servants. Qualitatively, they are one and the same. In Bhagavad Gita 9.29, the Lord says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu, name dvesho na asti na priya, ye bhajanti tu maam bhaktya, mai te teshu chapyaham. I envy no one and nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. From this statement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is clear that the devotees of the Lord are always extremely dear to him. In effect, Lord Shiva told Parvati, both Chitraketu and I are always very dear to the Supreme Lord. In other words, both he and I are on the same level as servants of the Lord. We are always friends, and sometimes we enjoy joking words between us. When Chitraketu loudly laughed at my behavior, he did so on friendly terms, and therefore there was no reason to curse him. Thus Lord Shiva tried to convince his wife Parvati that her cursing of Chitraketu was not very sensible. Here is a difference between male and female that exists even in the higher statuses of life. In fact, even between Lord Shiva and his wife. Lord Shiva could understand Chitraketu very nicely, but Parvati could not. Thus, even in higher statuses of life, there is a difference between understanding of a male and that of a female. It may be clearly said that the understanding of a woman is always inferior to the understanding of a man. In the Western countries, there is now agitation to the effect that man and woman should be considered equal, but from this verse it appears that woman is always less intelligent than man. It is clear that Chitraketu wanted to criticize the behavior of his friend, Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva was sitting with his wife on his lap. Then too, Lord Shiva wanted to criticize Chitraketu for externally posing as a great devotee, but being interested in enjoying with the Vidyadhari women. These were all friendly jokes, and there was nothing serious for which Chitraketu should have been cursed by Parvati. Upon hearing the instructions of Lord Shiva, Parvati must have been very much ashamed for cursing Chitraketu to become a demon. Mother Parvati could not appreciate Chitraketu's position, and therefore she cursed him. But when she understood the instructions of Lord Shiva, she was ashamed. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Srivasade Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurudin Tarnam Paramanand Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. Try to discuss something from this very interesting episode of Mother Parvati curses Chitraketu. So, I'm reading 6th canto. 6th canto denotes poshanam, nourishment and protection. So devotees are protected by Lord and devotees are getting nourished by Lord, and these wonderful stories which are coming connected to Lord in 6th canto. And here Lord in his very inconceivable ways is intending to protect and quickly get Chitraketu Maharaj to his side, and thus this wonderful arrangement of Mother Parvati cursing Chitraketu has been orchestrated by Lord. But while it is arranged by Lord, there is a lot to learn in this whole episode. Apart from this is being arranged by the Lord, so there is a lot which can be taken from this. And now this, once Mother Parvati curses Chitraketu since he was laughing. Apparently there were many instances of him having very friendly interactions with Lord Shiva even before this. But this was like a tipping point for her, enough of it, enough of it. So then she could not take it anymore, and then she cursed Chitraketu that you don't understand my position of Lord Shiva. Like no, and obviously she was like no, she was very much Lord Shiva being her husband. She actually took it on, took it very seriously, and ended up cursing Chitraketu. And now Lord Shiva is explaining to her that, I mean, you probably overreacted, It was not needed. This was not needed so much. And then he is giving different reasons for that. In this particular verse, he is establishing. He has been establishing the position of Chitraketu Maharaj, but now he establishes the Jai Radha Vrindavan Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai, Gaur Nitai Bhagwan ki Jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai. He is now establishing the the relationship between him and Chitraketu, and how actually it is very difficult to understand. Then Prabhupada is covering a lot of themes in this purport, a lot. Prabhupada is talking about the position of devotee and the relationship between pure devotees. Prabhupada is also talking about male-female psychology, and then Prabhupada is ultimately kind of saying that how now Parvati is probably becoming regretful of her decision to overreact. So the way Lord Shiva handles the whole thing with Parvati. So a lot of things are there in this whole section, in this purport. So we'll take it one by one. So then the key point is that in spiritual world, there is only one prescription, that is love. And there is only one prohibition, that is envy. Everything is based on love in spiritual world. The relation between Lord and his devotees, and envy is even absent by his, by its conspicuousness. It is absolutely not there. Meaning nobody actually takes the externals very seriously. The differences in the externals very seriously. The external itself is a means to serve the Lord, and that is the importance of it. But when the living entity comes to this world, he abandons love and embraces envy. Ichha, dvesha. So these two things come. And they to come simultaneously in a package, That one, we drop the love towards God, and then there is simultaneously the envy we develop for Lord, and then it expands. Then it expands to everything. So when obviously we are not thinking about Lord, we'll think about ourselves. So then this concept of selfishness comes in, where me and my attachments and my way of looking at things and my opinions, everything becomes of paramount importance for us. Basically, we lose sensitivity to, first we lost sensitivity to Lord, and then we lose sensitivity to others. Everybody else becomes just a medium to achieve my ends. That's the journey of this world, of a jiva. That's why Prabhupada says, it's the love transforms into lust. So the lust is then the predominant. Lust means I want it. It is for my enjoyment. So my enjoyment becomes the central theme. And simultaneously there is envy. So envy means there is high, low, you are low, I am high, and differentiating based on externals. This is my friend, this is my enemy. All this is symptom of envy. So these two things happen. One, we lose sensitivity towards others, mainly with Lord, and then it expands. And then since we see the difference between us and Lord very seriously, we lose that loving connection between us and Lord. We lose that. We just start seeing externally everyone, and based on that, this is my friend, this is my enemy, this kind of continues. So this is the journey of the soul in this material world, and in order to go back to Godhead, we have to basically cultivate the opposite. That the love has to be cultivated back for the Lord, and envy has to be given up against Lord and everyone. It is like Prabhupada says, God realization means like sun rising, and we see everything. We just don't see Lord. We see everything. It's not that only Lord and us. It's everything. Everything is being seen in proper perspective when actually God realization happens. So, so this is what is supposed to happen. But this sensitivity when or with this love, when it goes away, then we start thinking only about ourselves. Then we view situations, we view people according to what is favorable to me and what I want, and then it becomes a miserable journey for everyone. Problem is 8 billion people are thinking like that, So everybody is thinking the same. So it becomes conflict and so many things happen, So since everybody is thinking about oneself, it is very difficult. It's actually impossible to even judge anyone, because I'm so absorbed in myself. So how can I judge? Forget about Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. We have an experience that we can't even judge anyone else. It's very difficult because we are so absorbed in ourselves, so absorbed. We're just thinking about our needs and our, my. So it's very difficult to actually judge what is the need of others. And therefore judge anyone else actually. So what to talk of passing a generalized judgment about others, and that becomes the trait of conditioned soul because of this nature, that we tend to generalize everything, about person. We generalize it. This is how this person is, and that is it, and then we very quickly pass judgments about everyone. This person is like this, this is like this. Sometimes people find difficulty to, because that's the most convenient way for me to be insensitive, to generalize, because I have decided to kind of separate myself from Lord and think only about myself. The most convenient way is that, I generalize, that's the most convenient, easiest way out. And it happens. Everybody is like this only. Everything is like this. All this is connected, So therefore, we rectify this, everything else begins to get rectified if it is actually rectified. So we have very quick, conclusions about people. We have very quick conclusions about situations. Everything happens very quickly. It's the most convenient way, because I don't want to really bother to think what is happening at the other end, because I'm so absorbed in myself, So then, it becomes difficult. Now here, that is what exactly is happening, that is what we can learn, in this whole episode. There's a dealing between two people happening, and I really don't understand the depth of the relationship first, okay? I don't understand the depth of their relationship, depth of their love, okay? So it's very easy to generalize, it's very easy to judge, and it's very easy to pass the judgment, That's what you're doing, So even in relationships, between devotees and in general also, it is very easy to, if we don't really understand the intimacy of between the two people, it's very easy to come to a very wrong conclusion very quickly, okay? That's why Chanakya Pandit says one should not actually jump into the, the fight of two brothers and husband, wife, because they may apparently come and talk something to someone, and they may think, oh, it's so serious, let me go and help them, and you get inside and you realize, oh, no, Who told you to get in this? No, who told you? So then, no, people realize suddenly that no. So while people are saying about that, but it's actually not so bad. So Parvati is not able to judge the, I mean, at least from the pastime perspective, judge the intimacy between the relationship of these two people, you know, Chitraketu and Lord Shiva. So when the intimacy is understood, then so that's what happens. No, people misunderstand even Lord's pastimes because there is no love. The understanding of love between Lord and his devotees is not understood. So therefore we misunderstand the pastimes also of Lord itself, Lord himself, you know. So what to talk of the other things, you know. So we can't really, so that's one very important point over here, that when we are trying to uh, unless we the relationship or concluding on something, you know, it depends, are we really understanding what is the depth of intimacy between the two people? Are we really understanding what is the depth of their relationship? Okay. The further understanding of this can be, when I am watching a great soul, unless there is love for that person, I will misunderstand, you know. I may take it in this way. You know, Nityanand Prabhu, when he was going to the bars to do preaching and all those things, and somebody like, and I think Lord Chaitanya tested one devotee that, he is going over there, you know. And then, don't say anything about Nityanand Prabhu. He is my life and soul, you know. I can't hear him. So there is naturally when there is love, one will be able to understand things properly. But when there is no love, which we have actually abandoned, you know, while coming from the spiritual world, so then it becomes difficult to really understand what is going on. What is going on? It takes a lot of effort to really understand what is going on in the relationships. It becomes very difficult. So, so this is the first aspect of relationships. You know, that intimacy has to be. In fact, for us also, Lord comes to this world to showcase the pastimes, to show that love between him and his devotees, because that is supposed to be reignited, you know. So when that is done, then automatically things fall in place, and things become better. We better understand Lord, and bhaktyamam abhijanati. Then by that love we can understand Lord, and then tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti swarjuna, we can go back to him. So it all depends of reigniting that love for Lord, you know. So that's the importance of, having love for great souls, having love for Lord, and even, that's an important parameter to be seen before we judge others and their relationships. What is the level of love between them, you know? So all depends on us becoming more sensitively engaged in devotional service. Then it actually happens. So that is the one aspect of it, about the love. And then the second aspect, what we see in this relationship crisis or conflict, what happened between Mother Parvati and cursing, making a wrong call over here, is envy. Of course, Mother Parvati is not envious, but it's a pastime of Lord. But then that's the second thing which obscures us. One is the absence of love, and the second thing is, covering of envy, wherein we just judge by externals. Now here, Chitraketu Maharaj was absolutely different externals than Lord Shiva. Chitraketu Maharaj is like enjoying Kshatriya, humanly, human, and enjoying with the women of Vidyadharas. And Lord Shiva is so renounced, so very different personas, Lord Shiva. And so Mother Parvati was like looking at the externals. So first she was not looking at love, and then she was absorbed where? In the externals. So no absorption in the love, but absorption in the externals was there. So therefore that started building up in the mind, that started building up in the mind. So and this is like, no, I am superior, you are inferior, I'm less, high, superiority complex, inferiority complex. All these are hindrances for us to basically, have proper assessment of life, how I have proper assessment and judgment of, first of all, world around us, even assessment of the Lord. We'll get lost. How Vrindavan Krishna and Vishnu, people get lost in this only, that Vishnu, how can Vrindavan Krishna be the topmost, Why Vishnu? No, because externally looks like he is Lord, he's like 4 hands and something called him. But then, we miss out actually. We miss out because we are again getting lost in external. And we are generalizing my external way of looking at world on others. No, I'm just keeping on imposing. Because again, that's the most convenient thing to do. The most convenient thing to do. Again, I go by convenience, So there's the most convenient thing to do, I'll do this. So, not judging by externals, no, this is, this is coming from this family, this background, and this richness, poorness, and all. So taking those externals very seriously, and actually within our heart, relishing our, superior externals vis-a-vis others, and internally in our heart, lamenting about inferior externals vis-a-vis someone. So this both are going to be problems for us. This both is going to not allow us to get absorbed in a proper perspective, get the proper perspective, So these two things, understanding, first of all, understanding the intimacy of Lord with his devotees, what he exchanges, and then that comes to the point of misunderstanding the intimacy within relationships, why it is important and all. Then the second part is the missing out on the, the external factors, just getting focused on the external factors and missing out on internal. Okay. So that's the problem which happens with the conditioned soul in this world. Therefore, actually all judgments actually go, generally it becomes a problematic thing, we end up doing this and we end up doing, but later we realize, oh, that is not a problem actually. So we have practical experience of this, right? We think something and then something else is actually a reality. So it happens with us, But the problem, the time which we will take to come to the reality is the attachment to our judgments, How strongly attached I am to the judgment, that much time it is going to take to come to the reality. And that all those attachments are ultimately coming from Ichha Dvesha. It's coming from this, not able to, missing out on the sensitivity towards Lord and being absorbed in the. That's why in translation it says attachment and envy. Therefore, no one should be astonished to see the activities of the most exalted devotees of Narayan, for they are free from attachment and envy. This is what becomes a problem. And then devotees, Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Vigana. The devotee is, the pure devotee of the Lord is absolutely different. He is freed from attachment and envy. So even if he does something, he is doing it out of love for Lord, which actually is not understandable for a conditioned soul, because there is no love for Lord. There is no love for pure devotee. There is no love is there. So therefore it becomes Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. It can't understand because the paradigm is only different. I am acting, although my actions may look similar, based on my attachment to my things, but pure devotee is acting based on the attachment to Lord. Therefore, even if he is doing something which is externally same, but the intent is absolutely different. Intent is actually, how can I get closer to Lord with this action? How can I get closer to Lord with this particular thing? How can I get more intimately connected with Lord? How can I absorb my consciousness? How can I connect my consciousness to Lord in various activities whichever I am doing? So, Yanisha Sarva Bhutani. So, it's an absolutely different paradigm which pure devotees operate in, and it's an absolute. And the root cause is the absence of love and pervasiveness of envy, and in case of pure devotee, pervasiveness of love and absence of envy. So that's why Vaishnava Kriya Mudra, even by all intellectual analysis, all chat GPT, everything, cannot actually make any judgment on this, because the paradigm is absolutely different. So that's what Lord Shiva is trying to explain, that no, it's not like Daksha. What he was doing to me is not like what Daksha, but he was doing it out of envy. But here is a friendly thing. It is happening out of love. Okay, so that you didn't catch it actually. You didn't catch it. No, so you need to catch it. So that's what he's trying to establish over here, that the position of Chitraketu. Otherwise, why will the assembly smile? Why will Lord Shiva smile? Except Parvati, everybody smiled. Because, everybody understood it. It's like some friendly gestures happening. And that's the depth of the relationship, that some mazak happens, some naughtiness happens, Even Lord and his devotees, they're experiencing naughtiness. The highest thing is not formality. Highest thing is actually informality, So that informality based on love is where we want to be. And we also relish that only. We don't relish in offices, we relish at home. So because, ultimately we, by nature, we want to enjoy the, informal, loving exchanges with, devotees and Lord. So uh, the highest point of relationships, where Lord and devotees, and within devotees there is such thick relationships that we can have, such kind of naughty exchanges also. But one should not prematurely do it, otherwise, no, it will be taken. It depends on the love. It depends on the love, and love is always mutual. It's not I love you and therefore no, I'll do whatever I want. It is a mutual thing. It is something which should be there on the other side as well, and then one can do whatever is there, and it's all accepted. It all just increases the rasa of the relationship. It just increases everything else. So that's the point which is being mentioned in this. And then I want to touch upon then how Lord Shiva handles Mother Parvati, and this where the Prabhupada is talking about male female psychology. So I'll take some liberty to talk a bit about it, and I'll give a quick it is very important to understand this, because it is a duty of the husband to do three things: to give physical protection to the wife, to give spiritual protection to the wife, and to give emotional protection to the wife. Okay. The most difficult is actually emotional protection. Okay. So, but to do that, one has to understand the nature of a man and of a woman. That's what Prabhupada is highlighting over here. And let me establish this in a proper way so that we understand, because usually we think women less intelligent and inferior and all those things, so that we should, why, what's the background? Let's understand this. Let's say, we have two assemblies sitting over here, and let's say all of you think, you get a gift from your friend, okay, and you have the gift, right? You got a gift in 2023, and June and July you had a very bad fight with that friend, very bad fight, ugly fight. So let's say boys, Prabhujis, they got shaving kits. Will you continue using that shaving kit? Yes. Absolutely, why not? A friend is gone, shaving kit is here only. Shaving kit is neutral, But let's say Matajis, they get a sari from their friend, and in June and July they have a very bad fight with that Mataji. Will they continue wearing sari, that same sari? Will you wear? No. That's a difference, It's a difference. Males have a very functional approach to things, very objective approach to things. For women, everything is, it is about sensitivity. How sensitive you are, how much you are able to account for that. It's not about the content, but it's about how you're presenting it, because that means you're caring, So there's security. So there is an emotional component in the women, So if their emotions are taken care of, then the intelligence functions really well. Emotions are not taken care of, then it gets more difficult. Okay, so that's the if you see Lord Shiva, he's not abandoning Parvati because she took a wrong action. You get lost, divorce. Let me file for a divorce, and all those things. He understood that, okay, there was an episode of being angry or being an episode of being depressed. Let me be around her. I explain, give the knowledge, but then it has to be done in a very sensitive way. If you see the translations also, Lord Shiva is having very sensitively he's addressing these things. He's not like, what nonsense, you keep doing this only. That's first of all, you did that. Dragged me to Daksha's assembly. Now whatever, previous life or what. So the same. So now you're doing this, and what is this going on? Every time this only happens, So he's not throwing out his arms and legs and all those things happening. He's being controlled. He's in control of himself, So that's an important aspect, because why Bhagavatam is talking about it, because that's the seva. These are Krishna's rules. This is how Krishna deals. So if somebody is claiming to be a male, then this is the way to deal with a female. Okay, so because that's how Krishna deals with his devotees. Krishna doesn't get angry back. Nonsense. What this? Radharani? So you are, because of you only every time, this mess up happens. Well, he kind of, manages the thing, He manages the thing. That's what it is. No, we need to, we have to like know. I mean, we means as in those who are married, but then even we need to understand how these energies work, you know, that how this is happening, So there has to be that first of all understanding of this whole thing, and even somebody who is actually a grahastha, this is a service, right? There's a service. When we say Krishna has to be in the center of the house, it doesn't mean exactly in the middle of the house according to Vastu, compass and all this. Krishna is rooted in the center. No, it means following Krishna's rules in the house. It means dealing with others the way Krishna wants us to deal. That is what, I mean, not just grahastha ashram, it means any situation. It means how Krishna wants us to deal with the situation. That is important. That's what it means, putting Krishna in center. Okay, so therefore it's a service, it becomes a service, right? It just like if the husband is understanding this aspect of female psychology, then it becomes easier. And similarly, everybody takes masculine and feminine positions, in different relationships. So then understanding that becomes easier to manage that relationship. So ultimately, to have peaceful life, we need to understand Krishna's rules, how Krishna deals in different situations with different people. And that's how Krishna deals. I mean, Krishna is not going to get angry back, enough of it, nonsense, all these things. He's not going to give it back, See, he's there. So, so then, so there is this point which of less intelligence, which Prabhupada says is because when the emotions of the woman is not managed well, or when she is on an emotional side, then it happens like that. Okay, but once the emotions are settled, then Prabhupada again in 4th canto he says that a good wife is equal to good intelligence. That's another point which Prabhupada says, because when she's managed, she's taken care of well, she gives it back by becoming the good intelligence of the husband. So it's a reciprocal relationship. The husband takes care of the wife takes care of the husband. So then it becomes a very nice situation. So again, the point of reciprocation comes in, point of relationships come in. So this is what it started off with, So being sensitive to others' needs, being sensitive. So all this is talking ultimately of this only, giving up our selfishness and cultivating love, which was, this is there. And stop taking externals, seriously, in the sense, I am superior to you and you are inferior to me, and there's even in this male female, if the male is thinking like this, too much, thought processes like this only, I am the one, you have to follow me, you have to follow me, everybody has to, just being very dominant, then it doesn't work. We have to see how Krishna operates, although he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is not dominating anyone, he is being although he is a leader, but he is leading in a way which is very, very, I mean, everybody wants to be led by him, everybody wants to be led, and at least those who are in spiritual world, and that's where the maximum population is, so generally I think he is working out well. So that's a quality we need to develop in order to, we can't impose our position on like okay, here I am the leader, and just pump into it is being not demanded, it's commanded by taking care of the needs of the people, and then naturally people want to follow and all those things. So again, it comes back to the point which we started off with, that cultivating love, reducing selfishness, and ultimately giving up envy by not taking actually these things very seriously. But then it all gets cultivated by practicing devotional life. But hey, is an important catch over here. We have been practicing devotional life, and which works. The thing that if we think that devotional life is not going to work is a problem. Where for years it has not worked, it is not working, or it is like, first of all, there's a journey in devotional life. Okay, Anarth Nivritti is the biggest one, biggest patch in our devotional journey. But what happens, even then devotional life continues to work, but there is something which we end up doing parallelly along with doing devotional life, which inhibits the progress, And that's why Krishna spoke of Nishkam. Nishkam Bhav is not just about, it's not about working outside in a company and practicing Nishkam Bhav. Nishkam is actually about this, what we are discussing. how we deal with different relationships, how we deal in different situations, how we deal with different objectives we have in our lives. We have how much we are able to, practicing this selflessness, practicing this not placing ourselves more inferior, superior, not getting absorbed in the objectives of the results so much, but actually doing it uh, to get purified, and simultaneously not getting lost with the external differences and trying to prove ourselves superior, inferior. So when parallelly we do devotional, but then this is also going on, then it becomes a fire and water combination. Therefore sometimes it takes a lot of time. It is happening, but somewhere in our dealings, somewhere in our so many things, we are not able to give up this tendency to, I am superior, you are inferior, and I am this and you are that, and getting too absorbed in the the external achievement. Those external achievement may be subtle, maybe gross, doesn't matter, but that's how it is. So then devotional journey becomes smoother and smoother, and thus love will be ultimately cultivated, and the envy will be destroyed. Prabhupada once somebody asked Srila Prabhupada that, how can envy be destroyed? Prabhupada, chant Hare Krishna, envy will be gone. Prabhupada is actually, that's a conviction which the great souls have. The time of initiation. The Guru doesn't give many things. He gives just chant. So they look at the faith of pure devotees in the holy name of the Lord. It's immense. But there's a way to do it. That's why offenses are there. So these are the various mentalities which we can avoid, by practicing Nishkam Bhav, and then things can happen properly. So it needs introspection, and thankfully these episodes help us that even great souls, they, as a pastime of Lord, they showcase such things happening so that we can avoid these principles, which are unhealthy for us, attitudes in our relationships. Any comments or any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You spoke very well on this purport. In the discussion, you said that emotions are to be taken care. So, even after understanding the principle, and even after attempting on this direction, is it that every time in our situation, one is 100% successful in taking care of others' emotions? And if not, then what are the factors because of which it doesn't happen, and how to develop it?
Thank you for asking a very comprehensive question and encouraging, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So actually the intent is not to be perfect, number one. Intent is I'll give my best. I'll do it. And if I am going wrong, I'll correct myself. That's the objective. Okay. If we target perfection, we'll end up, being miserable, because Lord is perfect, Achyuta. We will, a time factor itself for ourselves, just to make us humble, Lord will, even though everything is going fine, first of all, our own tendencies will interfere us. So our focus is actually to apply these principles expertly and getting better at it. And if we do mistake, we come back at it. Just like I learned driving, right? So the goal is not to become, a driver at Uber, So my goal is actually to, or become the best driver of the world. No, my objective is I'll become better driver every day. No, I'll continue driving. My objective is, when I'm driving today, so am I applying the principles of driving properly or not? So that's my focus, So first of all, that has to be the clear point. And then, it doesn't become a pressure on ourselves, Okay. Then even if we fail, we come back. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. So what will make us fail more or less, which is a second point, which I think you mentioned. First is appreciation of this aspect. Know that spirituality or the philosophical understanding of spirituality is spiritual. And I don't think so anybody really has a problem in that, you know. Actually, no, uh, the philosophy is so clear of Krishna consciousness. It is so amazing that people generally don't have problem in that, understanding that. There is spiritual and then there is physical, you know, the physical world. Physical also world also we understand, you know, what it is. The problem is between that, you know, application of spiritual in this physical world, the metaphysical part aspect of it, you know, the emotional aspect of it. That is where the challenge comes. So in that, one has to be first of all be clear and be why one fails more. First of all, one is not one is in a denial mode. One can be that. Possibilities, no different. When one is not able to ready to understand oneself, why will one understand others, you know? So that is one, you know. Second could be, you know, not appreciating this principle. Many times it takes a long time to even understand that why this is important only. No, we just think it is not important, you know, it is useless. And then actually, you know, time, conditioning forces, no, when no, Arjuna told Krishna that no, I'll go and beg, you know. So that's no. And then Krishna told that no, I mean, even if you go and beg, you'll end up hitting somebody who is not giving you the alms properly or whatever. Like no, so that's not your nature. So we'll be pulled back, you know. So that becomes a problem, you know. So basically, not appreciating this principle that how it is actually connected to devotional service, how it is connected to, you know, how, what is Krishna actually explaining. So what Bhagavad Gita is talking about it regarding this. Bhagavad Gita is talking about this, you know. When Krishna says to Arjuna that you are like no kripana, it's actually kripana means Prabhupada says narrow-minded. Now it's not he's talking not talking of a fallen soul. He's talking of narrow-mindedness. It means he's mentally poor. And Prabhupada translates Brahmana as broad-minded. It means mentally rich. And that's what spirituality does to you, know. And then, you know, what narrow-minded means, he didn't find any other option but to give up. That's why, you know, Krishna told, there is a point why he's saying narrow-minded. Because he's not seeing any option. That's poorness, no kripana. There's no option left, you know, zero. Bhikhari. So mentally somebody is poor means he doesn't see any option. That's why, you know, people commit suicide, you know, because mentally no option seen, no, nothing. Every externally rich, mentally poor. So, and then broad-minded, you know. So spiritual knowledge makes us broad-minded. Actually, spiritual minded knowledge should not make us narrow-minded, you know, even narrower than, you know, before. So basically then no understanding the importance and connection of this to our purification goal of life. So that could be the second point which is there. And then third could be the lack of balance in life, you know, being very, you know, extremes and all those things. So that is the other point, you know. One is not, but I think if the second point is understood, then the third point is being taken care of. So, but yeah, generally if somebody is having very extreme opinions, no, so that's why Krishna says one who eats too much, sleeps too less, all those things. Yoga is difficult. Moderation is a favorable consciousness to do yoga. So this is yoga. Because I have to just, all this we are doing, why? To sit down peacefully and, you know, focus on Lord, connect our consciousness to Lord. That's the whole intent. It's not just, we want to just sit peacefully and enjoy that peace and, you know, be Mr. Clean, you know, with white shirt. It is about using that platform to connect with Lord. That's the point. So that's, I hope it kind of answers you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for a nice class. It is somewhere mentioned, no, ki Lord Shiva and Chitraketu Maharaj was devotee of the Krishna.
Yeah.
But what about the Parvati Mata? That
She is devotee of Krishna. That's why Lord is using her to bring Chitraketu back. She is part of the arrangement of the Lord.
Actions are the different one. No?
That's fine. It's for us to learn what it is. Parvati is Parvati.
The second question is that you mentioned that man should not be dominant with woman always, and that only about the man it is mentioned. What about if woman is always dominant and she is not getting cured? Unless if the man is giving his full life for getting her better, even she is not getting better, then what is mentioned in this?
It's a good point, and it happens also.
So happening nowadays, it is very much increasing, and the divorce cases are is going on. In third day or fourth day of the marriage, divorce is coming there because of the woman only.
Yeah. So again, generalization. It depends on case-to-case basis. But yes. So the point is that that's why scriptures ordain that looking at the so many things before marriage. There are 8 kinds of marriages also. So before getting married, it has to be clear what are the mentalities of different people. There are ways to do it. When the point is that sometimes there is so much, there are so many ways to basically check about the temperament and all those things. We should do it. So therefore, one has to be clear, and there is a way to talk also and get the things, understand what the mentalities are. So generally, this is called the first type of marriage is that only, like where there is a thoughtful choice of the partner. So they may be a woman who is like that, and they may be a man. So accordingly, the choices can be made, or the matches can be made. So sometimes people don't even match the charts, or they don't actually match so many things, before talk. There's not sufficient thought given to it. In manufacturing, there is a concept of cost of quality. So there is something called cost of prevention, which generally people or the products fail because cost of prevention is low. So in marriages also, cost of prevention has to be high. If the cost of prevention is high, the marriages will not fail too much. So that is one aspect of it. The second is that it's very if the partner choice is okay, assuming that it is fine, and both the partners, they were like comfortable with each other in terms of their mentalities matching, at least in principle, looking at whatever factors, and there is a way to do it, because these days even girls don't want to they will also speak clearly, they will also have a very clear expression of things. Then it has to be and you see the compatibility beyond that also, in terms of education or whatever is there and all. So then the second point which comes is then doing focus on one's duty. So like the boys have to be trained, even the females have to be trained, that training also has to be done. So premarital thing is becoming a very, very big thing outside. I'm not talking about devotees. It's becoming a big thing outside because, because of the thing which you are mentioning, everybody is troubled about it. So there is a way for a woman also to understand how the man operates. Like there is a female psychology, there's a male psychology also. So that they have to be trained in, what males need, So when that happens, there is no problem. So, and that's how anything becomes successful, Prabhuji, right? See, for generations before us, we were living in a joint families or whatever is there, and then so many things were happening. There was not so much focus of one person over other, It was very distributed focus, So even fight used to happen, there were 100 people talking, and then by talking and getting wisdom, things were getting managed. But now it's a different scenario, You just have 2 people, and actually sometimes just 2 people only, and that becomes difficult, So therefore one has to get consciously trained on what is the male functioning also. So like male wants this, and he wants a space, then female even enters into that space, then it becomes difficult for him to kind of adjust. So there's a way, what we discussed over here is there for males also. So both the trainings happen. We do like we learn driving, right? How do we learn it? It's not that car has to be good and you have to be good. Basically everybody has to be in sync, right? So then the driving happens. So if it happens, why there'll be accidents? There'll not be. So choice of partner and then proper training, everything will be fine. It will be fine. It's like science, H2 plus O2 will boom, H2O, and water droplets will come. And the things are followed properly. Okay. Anything else? We are past time now. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Navagauravaraṁ nava pushpasaram nava